Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your Nine Protector Satan here. So a little straight away from Pokemon. Today I was going to be looking at Guilty Gear. I'm a 10th floor Kai, pretty much solo main in Guilty Gear Strive, and I want to talk about my matchups. This isn't, inherently correct. This is just like what I think. I'm not the best Kai in the world, obviously. I'm not Celestial on 10th floor. So, but anyways, I want to talk about it. So this could be wrong. Things could be different. But this is what I feel for the matchups in this current iteration. Right now, I think Kai is like a very mid-tier character. I don't think he's that good. I think he's just way out-charactered by a lot of other, top tiers and stuff. I feel like the top tier, this game's really top-heavy right now, and Kai is just not in that. He's not bad. He's got great pressure. He's got good tools, but there's just some things that he has to deal with that other characters don't, and that other characters can do that is just like so hard for him. And I'll talk about it. So I got, does my range better, does my range and more better. I think this is just like characters that are just better characters, but also just fight him in the range that Kai wants to play in, and just do it better. Like, the neutral's really awkward for him because of these characters. There's so many things you have to play around. And it feels like you're on defense a lot because these characters are so good. And when you get openings, your openings aren't as... You can do good damage as Kai, but you just don't do as much damage as these characters do. That's so annoying is, like, these characters, you can do it. You have tools to get around these characters, but their matchups, I would say it's kind of hard. They're hard until you learn them, and even when you learn them, they're still just really annoying and really hard to do. Out damaged, but you got to work for the W. These are matchups that I think are pretty even for the most part, but you just, like, the fact of the matter is you have to work harder than this character does. Whether the character's better than you, or they just do a lot more damage than you. And I don't think you win neutral, like, easier or anything like that. I think you have to work really hard. Even speaks for itself. I think you're trying as hard. And then wins is a question mark. Like, I don't know exactly if I would call these matchups winning. They're like even or winning. They're like the ones in even that I think are like even better for us. So let's get into it. There's 2 testaments. So I'm not going to rank them both. Just leave them alone. So let's go. Let's talk about Oeno. Oeno is one that I think can win. I think we have good anti-air options, not great anti-air options, but big sword. I feel like it can interrupt a lot of what Oeno wants to do. Plus the slow DP kind of sucks, but at least having a DP kind of can stop some things that Oeno wants to do. A lot of her pressure, but she can definitely mess you up. So like she's one that could definitely be even, but I think overall you can give her a hard time and it could be pretty good matchup for you. I guess the other matchup that I would put in wins would be Jacko. If Jacko would start with a minion gauge, then this would be even, but you don't. So you can like be aggressive, get in her face, and when minions come out, just swat them because you have, a sword and some fast buttons like punches. You can just swat them away and then just keep the pressure on her. She does actually have like decent range, so it's not like you're just gonna be sitting there CQCing her out of range where she can be, but. And then when she gets in the corner, like, that's when Jacko shines, but she cannot get out of the corner to save her life against the Kai, so if you just play aggressive and don't let her get her minions out, you pretty much win. Soul is like everything Kai does, but better. He's out damages. You think Soul doesn't have the range, but he does, and his anti-aerials are just ridiculous. And one of Kai's big issues for his mix is he does not have an overhead besides dust, and he doesn't have like a grounded overhead, which a lot of other characters do. And so mixing up a Soul that knows how to block is really hard, because like as soon as you get in the air, he has so many good anti-air buttons. Then he's got amazing air gatlings too, so he just beats the shit out of you when you're in the air. He's really hard to fight. He's someone who just like he kind of just goes ape on you. And it's so hard to get off him because the slow DP doesn't really save you at all. And then he's got a DP, so when you're in pressure, like he can get out of it really easily. He just completely out damages you. Geo also, same with the air gatlings. It's hard to anti-air her, and she just completely apes you and just keeps the pressure on you like nobody's business. And she doesn't get off you. Like she's so good for this reason. Like I think she's one of the best characters in the game right now because her pressure and her speed is just so good. And it's hard for Kai to deal with. It's not impossible. I don't think any of these matchups are like undoable, but they're tough. They're hard. It's hard to get her off you because there's so many. It's such a hard guessing game because she has so many different angles she can attack you from. She can attack you from low, overhead, grab, overhead, but cross up load. Like she's got so much stuff, and your slow DP doesn't really get you out of there. She's also got some really good anti-air buttons, so it's hard to mix up a Geo that's got really good blocking. Axel is one of the so annoying. You have lunge attacks. I'm gonna say Future Arc and Stun Dipper. You have like good stuff for when you're not in his face, and you even have like Stun Edge to the projectiles. You have the projectiles to pressure him when you're not up close, but you have to be very patient. But once you get in, he cannot get you off of him at all. You can keep pressure so hard. I would even say don't break the wall against him. Just keep the wall so you can keep that Oki and just like try to keep him there as much as you can. You can do some great stuff to him, but he can be really annoying to deal with. And it's not super easy for Kai. It takes a while to get on him. It takes a while for Kai to get in to the range that he wants to be, while Soul and Geo have just more tools to get in your face. With Geo's has like the speed, or Soul can like go under with his super low attack that hits you in the air. They just have better movement options than Kai does. His movement options are good, but they're just outdone right now. So it's really annoying. Faust is another super annoying matchup, and I think Faust is honestly like bad. I think Faust is just straight up a bad matchup. You have tools to punish him, but he also just ducks under your fireball, so that takes away one of your big neutral tools. Playing neutral against him is just so awkward because the items just slow you down. He's got crazy range. He doesn't even do a lot of damage, but he doesn't really need to. Like, at least in this matchup. Like, Faust isn't a very good character, but in this matchup, I don't think either of you really do that crazy amount of damage, so he actually kind of keeps up with you a little bit in damage-wise, and he just keeps you out so hard. And neutral is so awkward. I mean, similar to like Axel, once you get him in pressure, once you get him in the corner, so he cannot get you off of him. That is the good part about Kai. Once he's going, he's hard to get off of you. It's like he's like a little pest. So that's about it. Chip is super even. You're not super slow, so Chip doesn't just completely overwhelm you, but he is definitely faster than you. But you do more damage, so it's like you have to be really patient in neutral and just watch for the chips and like watch for Chip's moves and see what he does. Try to see if you can catch a quick whiff, or just call him out unexpected. But once you're hitting Chip, unless you're doing damage, he takes so much damage. So yeah, he's a character that you feel like you're doing a lot of damage against. And I feel like that is the whole reason why Chip and also Amelia are both even. I think Amelia's a little harder though, just because her setups are tricky, and you don't have as good anti-airs, and like the DP would really, if you have faster DP. What I mean by faster DP is like his DP is, I think it's like 4 frames instead of 3. I can't remember the exact same frame rate, but it's something like that. He's a slower DP, so it doesn't actually get him out of scenarios. And Amelia's air game, it's hard to deal with her air game because you don't have the best air to air game. It's not awful. If you as a player have a good air game with Kai, then like you can do it, but she's pretty tricky. But same thing as this Chip. Once you're hitting them, she has an even harder time on defense. So once you're hitting these two, you're doing so much damage. May's another does range and more. May she does so much damage. Her anchor doesn't have a hurt box on it, while your sword does. So you can't even go for like trades. And she's also small. It's hard to hit her. It's really hard to hit her. Neutral's really awkward because she plays a longer range than you because of Totsugeki and just the anchor itself. Like even without Totsugeki, just that anchor. The range she has is bigger than yours, and the range you have is a hurt box itself too. So you can't like poke at her or anything. She just punishes you and does way too much damage. It's not fair. This is not fair at all. Who else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about Baiken. Baiken is, I feel like Baiken just out damages me, and neutral is rough. She's kind of here, but I don't think she's like that good of a character. I don't think she's like completely outdoing me as a character. At least the way I feel about it. She's hard though. She does more damage, at least from what it seems. She's a newer character, so she's kind of hard to tell. But she does more damage. She has great range, as if you can be like really good about calling out the counters, and if you learn your combos when she's got the bell attached to you, you can do a lot of cheeky stuff to her. But it requires a lot of patience, and she just punishes you really hard. It can be pretty tough. Let's see. Who do I want to talk about? Ramlethal is probably the best character in the game. her range, kind of like May, she has more range than us and not a hurt box there while we have a hurt box, so trying to get to her is hard. Like you would think that you have the range of a sword to like, close the gap easier, and it's harder because she can just keep your distance, and Ram can play basically ignoring some mechanics of the game. Like you cannot burst against Ram because the exposing swords just don't matter. It doesn't matter, and she can always stay out of grab. So your strike throw game is one of the best things about Kai, and you just can't really do it because it's so hard to get close enough to grab her. And her anti-air, her 6P is so good, so getting in on her and trying to mix her up is pretty tough. That's why is my sword a hurt box but theirs aren't? That's the real question. That's like the real thing. If they're like, why do I have hurt boxes but they don't? That's not fair. It's just not fair. That's really what it is. Zotto is a pure even matchup. I think if Kai was like better mechanically as a character, you would beat Zotto. Zotto is just really, really good of a character, and like once Zotto gets his things going, Kai isn't special. He's still getting messed up. The slow DP doesn't get you out of there. But Zotto, once you're beating up Zotto, it's kind of like these guys. Like when you're hitting Zotto, when you're pressuring Zotto, you can really mess him up. I think he's like almost a maybe wins, but I think it's pretty much dead even. You can just pressure and get in the face of Zotto, and he can have a very hard time getting off of you. Like trying to get out of pressure when you're just not even like comboing him or like block exchange, but just like keeping the distance and keeping him stuck in the corner. There's not much he can do. It can be rough for him. So Kai can definitely put the pressure on Zotto, and Zotto's really good. So like that's one of the best matchups for Kai, I think. Potemkin is another out damaged. You gotta work hard for this W. You can punish him. Potemkin does his grappler things, and you don't punish him as hard because you're not like as fast. Or you're not doing as much damage. So he's got plenty of time to do his grappler setups, and you've got the punish. You've got things that can punish him, but you have to work harder for this matchup than he does. I feel like you just have to do it. He's got realistically more range than you. And that shield is so difficult to get around. That Potemkin, whatever that projectile shield he throws at you is so difficult to get around. You like have to super jump and then dash, and it's just like free. Like you have to, if he's gonna be ready for it, so you have to be so ready for that. And he's got, I feel like all of his aerial, like Potemkin Buster, is so hard to like 6P. Like I no matter how much patience I have, I can never get like 6P off because it hits me so low. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like Kai's 6P is not good. Like I feel like it does. I feel like his upper body, like his legs maybe come up too hard, so it, like when he 6Ps, it goes to the elbow, and like he's still got this big like torso section that just gets hit by a lot of things. And Potemkin, it feels like it's so hard to get to anti-air Potemkin himself. So you gotta work hard for that matchup. Leo, another character, does the range more. When he's when he's in his normal stance, it feels dead even. But as soon as he goes to back stance, he turns into Geo, and it's just like, oh fuck, dude. It's hard. He's got a great DP too. He's got the projectiles that just beat yours, so his neutrals is better. He feels like such a good character. Like this character shouldn't have the good neutral that he does, but for some reason he just does. And he can punish Kai like crazy. And more like, hurt boxes. Why do I have hurt boxes but he doesn't? He's another one of these characters. It's just like, why do I have hurt boxes but they don't? He's rough. I feel like he's the easiest here for sure, but still like rough. I don't know who I would say the hardest is. Probably May, honestly. The last of so annoying, I would say, is Testament. I just haven't figured out Testament yet. Apparently you can hit his scythe, but it's like he has hurt boxes and I also have the hurt box on our weapons, on our on our weapons. Like my sword and his scythe, we both have the extended hurt boxes on him, but I can never seem to hit his scythe, and his projectiles just he kind of out camps. He's like not quite camping you like these guys are. He's a little bit more in your face, and then like his mix up stuff is pretty hard to deal with. It's just hard to get in on Testament as Kai. It's really hard to get in on him. Once you're in though, you can do your damage, you do your work, and he's not like so strong of a character that he deserves to be up here, but He's tough. He's annoying, and he's still new, so I have to figure him out still. So, but that's what I feel for now. Next up, Nagori Yuki is, I think it's a good matchup for Kai overall. Like, I don't think Kai wins. But the fact of the matter is Nagori Yuki is, if he ever hits you, he's way better round start. And if he gets the hit on you, he takes you to the wall, breaks the wall, gets positive. He does half your health bar, if not more. He has such a big health bar. Like, you have to work so hard. You have to work so hard to beat Nagori Yuki. Like, if you mess up once, he just outdoes you. And I think it's drastic enough to be like, yeah, this is a hard matchup. Like, it's hard. You can win. You can definitely win. I think it's like overall a good matchup for Kai. Like, don't make me like, oh, like Nagori Yuki slaps Kai. It's like, no. Kai does really good against Nagori Yuki, but you have to work so hard. You have to like mix up your tempo so hard against Nagori Yuki. He outranges you. It's really hard to get in on him and just like round start. I feel like round start is what the real issue is. Also, his clone just completely beats your projectiles. That didn't used to happen. That was when things were a lot easier. Even before Kai got some other buffs, but that change where clone just goes full screen and goes through your projectiles means clone's pretty hard to deal with. Let's see. Noise Testament. Let's talk about Anji. Anji, I think it's like dead even. Maybe you win. His Anji, I feel like loses hard to strike throw games, but Anji's strike throw game is also like pretty good himself. He's got some good mix on you, and I think damage wise, he outdoes you. He outdoes you damage wise, but range wise, he has a slight edge. I think you're just overall a little bit better of a character than Anji, but not by like much. But that strike throw game just keeps you an advantage. And I think it's really close to even. Kai could win. This could be another one like Zotto that he could maybe win. I feel like it's just very hard even. Like it's kind of your strike throw game versus his mix up game. His reversal supers are also really good. I feel like his reversal supers are really good at countering Kai. You have to be really patient, and there's only like certain openings you can punish Anji with, and you have to be very careful while watching those. And Anji also just has like good Oki game, like good mix up game that you could. If you like hesitate for a second or miss it for a second, he can punish you and just do a lot of damage, wall break on you, and then be pretty crazy. And also, you can't use your projectiles against him because he can just spin through them. But if he does, you can also go up and run up and just grab him. So you have that. But if he catches on, he can just start grabbing and then trade with you. So it's like a little awkward. Gold Lewis is another. You gotta work hard for this dub. His pressure is rough. It is hard to get him off of you, and he does a lot of damage, but you can definitely mess him up too. I think it's like a dead even matchup. That's kind of how I feel like these leagues are like dead even, if not like harder. Like I would say, I think the order is something like this. But Gold Lewis's damage is really good on you. The chip damage he does on you is great, because Kai usually does some good chip damage, but compared to Gold Lewis, it's tough. He's got some really good neutral tools against you. But you're like, I feel like you both have such good neutral tools against each other. You definitely put on more pressure, I want to say. I don't even know. Not even more pressure. I'm not sure what it is, but like Kai outdoes Gold Lewis in some areas, and Gold Lewis outdoes Kai in some areas. I feel like it's among this. Like you got to work hard for the W, but like it doesn't mean Gold Lewis doesn't work hard too. And then last but not least, Happy Chaos, another one of the top three. I think like the top three is like these three right here. He's hard. It takes a lot of patience. There's so much to get him off you. He's got some great anti-airs. His bullet. You have to be so patient, so careful. He can be so safe when he runs it on you and is aggressive. It's hard to get him off of you, honestly, when he decides to be aggressive. He's also got a really good strike throw game. So it's not like you outdo him in that category. He just plays the slow, full screen range, and it's not impossible to get on him, but it's tough. Kai has to play this range. It's like if like Kai as a character, he plays like this close mid range kind of thing. Like he has to be in your face, but not like right up, like breathing. He's not like breathing on you like a Giovanni or a Chip would be. He's kind of like he's like a back step away from you, And just getting to that range, getting there with Happy Chaos is tough with his clone and just the bullets and like steady aim bullets are just tough. And then he's also got like a bunch of attacks that have really long range that just send you full screen, like his, I think it's his 5K. His like forward punch, I think it's 5K or 6K, whatever it is. He's got some good stuff. He's got good anti-airs. It's hard to get in on him. He's like this if these characters were good. He's like this super annoying tier, but these characters are like get completely cloud by Kai when he's on their face. Happy Chaos doesn't. He doesn't get like smothered. He's not really getting smothered by you. Like he can keep up with you because he's just such a good character. It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know how I'd order this. I would just say Leo is the hardest, or Leo's the easiest in this group. Axel's probably the easiest in this group. Stuff like that. I honestly think Faust is one of the harder matchups for Kai. Like I think Faust is harder than Leo. In terms of matchup wise. So I'm not doing like numbers or anything. That's what I think anyways. That's what I think for Guilty Gear. If any of you guys play Guilty Gear out there, follow my channel. I guess I'll follow me for like Pokemon and a little bit of Fire Emblem stuff. But you know, a bit of a change, but I do play Guilty Gear a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. It's like my competitive game of choice at the moment. So yeah, anyways, thanks for tuning in guys. Catch y'all later.